Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Taya Salam. This is what the show looks like this morning. Of course, great news are coming from the basketball world. D Tigers coach Mike Brown has committed to coaching the team at the upcoming AfroBasket tournament. Also on the program, Chelsea are champions of the UEFA Super Cup after keeper Arrizabalaga came off the bench to become the penalty hero. Last but not the least, of course, the Lionel Messi mania is in full effect in Paris following his official presentation as a PSG player. I am not alone on the show today. I've got with me Iniobong Monday, who's coming back after a while on the sidelines. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, yes, safe to say that. Good morning, Tayo. Very good to be here. And we've been inundated with Messi's story. I think It's been absolutely crazy. I mean, the hysteria, the excitement everywhere in Paris is just unbelievable. How one person can be that influential, how one person can be that powerful in terms of just being able to pull out people like that from their homes for the past 3 days. You know, some people have camped at the airport in Paris for days, and then it finally happened, the presentation, and we're very pleased that at least that particular story is beginning to die down, because we know that Messi will not be having speculations about where he's going to play this season. So definitely the French League on, the big winners.
Great win indeed for Diego Schwartzman of Argentina against Benoit Paire. We also saw victories for Andrei Rublev as well as Dusan Lajovic. All of those guys are getting ready for the US Open, the last major of the year. And all eyes will be on Novak Djokovic. Can he go there and complete the calendar Grand Slam? That's what we'll be looking to find out.
It would be unbelievable. And you would be a very brave man to put your money against him not doing it, because he looks in great shape. He looks very confident going into that one. And speaking about the Canadian Open, slightly blighted by the withdrawal of Rafael Nadal, nursing that foot injury. And quite honestly, everyone knows he's in preparation for the US Open, the big one. And Nadal pulled out of the Olympics as well after the clay court season. But all eyes certainly will be on Novak Djokovic. And that everyone will be scrambling to get that 21 Grand Slam title. And I think of the three of them, in Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, it just looks like Djokovic looks very confident going into this one, and he can certainly complete it. I would not put my money against him, but we're looking forward to it. Surprises can still happen. Surprises can still happen. Who says Nadal will not recover from the foot injury and really come on and turn on the style? Who says Federer cannot give us just one last hurrah for a major tournament? And it's very exciting. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Djokovic looking like the most likely to get that 21st major. And for Nadal and Federer, unfortunately, injuries have kind of slowed them down this season. That's why they haven't been at their best. And like you said, surprises can happen. We saw a big surprise at the Olympics. Djokovic went into that tournament as a favorite. Didn't win bronze. Didn't win nothing. So these things can happen.
That was quite whether he took his foot off the pedal a little bit, I'm not quite sure. Maybe going into that, but I know Djokovic is a winner. He would have wanted to get on the podium. He would have clearly wanted to get a gold medal, and not getting on the podium would have mightily disappointed him, because he's such a big guy in terms of big tournament player. You know, he's a guy who, when he gets to the tournament, he wants to get his serves right. He wants to ensure that there are no errors, but unfortunately, these are things we saw in his game at the Olympics, and it wasn't vintage Djokovic. But again, I mean, the Olympics is big, but the US Open, I think, is bigger, and I certainly think that he will come with his A game. I'm certainly looking forward to him at the Olympics, at the US Open. And Djokovic is a big tournament player, big tournament player. So we expect the very best and nothing else but class all through. And we hope that we have a fit Roger Federer and a fit Rafael Nadal.
Yeah, you're spot on. Djokovic spoke about exhaustion after losing out at the Olympics. He's played too many games, too many tournaments this season. And that's why he's actually withdrawn from the Cincinnati Masters, so he can get enough rest to come to New York and try to win that 21st major. So that's it for the Toronto Masters. Let's get on with the show. Now let's give you updates coming from the NBA Summer League. It's the league for rookies and sophomores to try to stake their claims to more minutes when the season starts. We have results coming out from there. Games played early this morning involving the Milwaukee Bucks against the Nets. Jordan and Warren once again leading the way for the Bucks, scoring 22 points in that loss. Unfortunately, they lost 97 to 91 against Brooklyn. OKC Thunder were defeated 80-65 by the Pelicans from New Orleans. Utah Jazz edged the Dallas Mavericks 80-81. The Miami Heat 97-94 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Toronto Raptors lost against the Golden State Warriors 84-90. And last but not the least, the New York Knicks defeated the LA Lakers 91-82. All right, so that's it. NBA Summer League. Young stars trying to get better, improve their game so they can play more minutes next season.
Absolutely, it's great. I mean, it's the future. It's quite fantastic to see these young stars really coming out and going through their paces, and it's quite fantastic. I mean, the summer series is wonderful, getting to see young talents, and these are people you look at and say these are going to be the next LeBron James and the Kevin Durants and the rest of the big guns. Exactly, it's quite fantastic, but you'd expect that with the NBA season almost upon us, you would know that teams are gearing up to ensure that it's not going to be that easy anymore. It's not a given that the Lakers would be thinking, oh, come on, it's our title to lose. It's not a given anymore. You know, you've got to fight for it. The Brooklyns clearly look like they are really primed for this particular NBA season coming. But for the Lakers, big season for them, massive season for them. They've got to put aside the disappointment of last season and really come up and show their stuff. They've got the big players, they've got the big personalities, and they've got to show up.
Yeah, you're spot on. The Lakers have the big three: Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. They've got Carmelo Anthony as well, so they've got Dwight Howard. I mean, they are stacked.
Superstars.
And they want to go and win this 18th championship. As a matter of fact, the GMs and all the pundits are actually predicting a Brooklyn Nets and Lakers finals in the NBA.
I mean, that would be a dream final. I mean, it would be what dreams are made of. I mean, you're certainly looking forward to that. But again, you know, sometimes you have an amalgam of superstars in a team, but individually, they are not quite pulling their weight. And that's what you're expecting, that with those big names in the Lakers, you're expecting that this season you've got to pull their weight. And the Brooklyn may not have, okay, Kevin Durant is there, but they don't have that stars in terms of the gathering of stars like the Lakers have got. But going into the NBA season, your stars have got to come to the party. You've got to show up in games, because if you're not showing up in games, the NBA is not that easy in terms of you can't just show up and win games. I mean, if you're not giving as good as you should be giving, you're going to get found at. But that would be a dream final. I'm sure every NBA fan wants to see that final.
Absolutely. KD, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook going up against Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. That's what we want to see in the NBA Finals, but it's still a long way from that. From the NBA, let's go and come back home. Talk about Nigeria's D Tigers. Of course, they'll be playing at the FIBA AfroBasket tournament, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time in Kigali, Rwanda. And the story out of the camp is Mike Brown, who's the associate head coach of the Golden State Warriors, has agreed and is committed to coaching Nigeria in that competition. The tournament is going to start on the 24th through the 5th of September. And this is fantastic news coming on the back of the disappointment at the Olympics.
Yeah, huge news, and quite fantastic that, because I always think that consistency is what makes it. You know, when you build something great, it's good to have a bit of consistency. Mike Brown has seen it and done that. He's a big name out there in the NBA. He's someone who is very experienced. given the Olympics didn't go according to plan, it wasn't quite the sort of performance that we expected from the Tigers. They lost all 3 games, but it wasn't all doom and gloom, to be honest. I think there was still some positives out from the Olympics, and it wasn't like it was scandalous defeats, if you really want to look at it. And going into the Afro-Basket Championship, you would think that these guys would want to prove a point. They want to show that, we're very good. And if we can keep the team together, I'm always worried about just keeping that blend of that experience and the young players coming through. It would really, really be great. And for Coach Mike Brown, I think he sees something with the Tigers. I think he believes he can achieve something with this group of players, because when you've got players like this, talented players who are coming through, it's always great to want to believe in them. And I think he sees a future with this team. He probably, if I'm not overstepping, probably would want to right the wrongs in the next Olympics.
I want to believe that's exactly the case, and that's why we keep seeing this level of commitment from Mike Brown. I'm not being joined by the Tigers or former the Tigers captain Olumide Oyedeji. We're gonna get his reaction to this situation. Olumide, good morning. It's great to have you on the show.
Hi, good morning. How is everybody doing today in Lagos studio and all the Nigerians?
Yeah, we're great. I can see you in Kano. We'll come back to what you're doing in Kano later on. But before then, the news we've been talking about, Mike Brown committing to coach the Tigers at the Afro-Basket. Are you surprised with this continuous show of commitment to the team from Mike Brown?
Well, I'm not really surprised at all. I believe, he said that when he was appointed, he committed to basketball, and after the Olympic, he also made a statement that he hoped to continue to be with the team. He's going to continue to coach the team. So I'm not actually really surprised. That shows more commitment from him. Hopefully, they can continue what we started, what we did in 2015, winning the Afro-Basket in 2015. So, a good one. Hopefully, we're going to continue building on what we started. And at the end of the day, we should come up good.
Yeah, so that's the hope that Nigeria can win her second Afro-Basket championship. Of course, you were part of the team that won in 2015. Champ Gucci MVP, you guys absolutely balled out in Radis, Tunisia. But looking at this squad now, the roster that we have at the moment, if the coach is able to call on the services of all of those guys that went to the Olympics, surely Nigeria's got a good chance of winning a second Afro-Basket title.
Definitely. I don't think everybody that went to the Olympics is going to play in Afro-Basket. That's the fact. Probably, but you have a 21 days rules that you can only play inside it when the NBA with a FIBA, so which is going to apply to players, the insurance and other stuff.
Yeah.
So, just expect to see more set of players. Which I can't really comment on the players right now because I don't know the team list. We haven't seen the team list. We haven't remember that committed. So no matter what it is, I believe Nigeria have a pool of talented players that can make the country proud, no matter who come and play for the national team.
Even without the NBA players.
Regardless of any players, we have players in Asia. If you look at the team that qualified Nigeria to the Olympics, I think we only have 1 or 2 NBA players on it. So, they will qualify for the Olympics from the World Cup.
Okay.
So, if you have it all over everywhere. So, we are playing Spain, Germany, Italy, in the Euro League. We have a Mike Rico. So, we have so many players there that can really actually take, just flying the flag of the country at the Afro-Basket. So, as I said before, we have tons of players. So, I'm our crew know what to do now to make the team play together so they can be successful.
All right, definitely the talent pool is indeed very, very deep for Nigeria. Nigeria's in Group C alongside Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, and Mali. Should be a straightforward one in the group.
Don't think any team is not going to be a pushover. So, but probably we have a better chance to top the group. Mali, they come with all the talented players. I don't think they're going to come with it. I don't know what the squad is. Yeah. So Cote d'Ivoire, they pushed over as well. But Kenya, they are rising right now in basketball with their coaching and the way their commitment. So I don't see anything really we have to be scared about, worry about in our group. But Mali is going to be a tough one. I believe we're going to win. Cote d'Ivoire, the same thing, we're going to win. Kenya, the same, so we're going to win.
After the break.
But no game is going to be a push-up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they will come there to compete.
All right, indeed. Cote d'Ivoire have won the competition twice. Like I said, Mali are a very solid side. Kenya on the rise. They've got players from the diaspora as well, too, which Coach Lees has brought into the team. They're not to be written off, definitely. But we need to go on a break now. Olumide, when we come back, you're going to be telling us what you're doing in Kano. Obviously, it has to do with basketball. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We still got Olumide Oyedeji, former D Tigers captain on the show, is in Kano. Olumide, the last couple of weeks now, every time we've spoken to you, the last time you were in Lagos, you've been in IB, now you're in Kano. What's going on in that part of the country?
Right now, we have a Noah Danlaji under-17 basketball tournament right now going on in Kano. About 10 teams from the north, north central, northeast, and northwest out there playing in the tournament. It's just a lot of fun and basketball and discovering talent. So coming out here with a Noah Danlaji Legacy Basketball Championship tournament, great thing that we just having all teams, about 10 teams, as I said, right here in Kano, playing in this to discover talent and to give back to the community and to just put a smile on these young men's faces.
You're spot on. So many basketball talents in the country. From what you've seen so far, what is it looking like in terms of the players we've seen, in terms of their upsides?
I mean, we're counting with about over 200 million population. There's definitely going to be talent. I've seen a lot of talented players here for the past couple of days, and they're very excited. They're excited. The organization is fantastic. What from out there, I think is just the great thing. See these young boys, young men playing game of basketball, competing, and do something great. So, I mean, it's just fantastic. The talent is everywhere. Talent is everything, and I'm seeing a lot of talent will be discovered right here.
Spot on. Under 17 players are showing off their skills in Kano. I know you've been doing a lot in terms of trying to develop the sports which you love so much in the country. So after this, where next are you going? Where are you going to turn up next now?
I mean, the next one is just to go to the next destination. The next destination is probably just to go back to the south side, and again come back to the north. So just whatever basketball out there, whatever we can develop the basketball, just keep growing the game, just keep moving forward. Like this legacy under 17 one, we do another one in the south with my basketball camp, basketball clinic. Just everywhere with the basketball, just keep growing the game.
Yes, it's all about growing the game everywhere, in any part of the country. Olumide, thank you very much, and thank you for everything you're doing for the sport.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. The tournament ended on Sunday with a lot of mentorship program, with a lot of talk and motivational speak. And the Sunday is going to be an exciting thing and just give these young men hope and bring something else to the basketball. Just fun.
Awesome stuff. Thank you once again for joining us, Olumide.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. As a former D Tigers captain, Olumide Oyedeji, giving us updates from the Legacy Under-17 Basketball Championships in Kano, where 120 basketball players from 10 northern states are competing for trophies and individual awards in the maiden edition. Awesome stuff coming from this guy. This guy has been retired for a couple of years now, but he is still very present when it comes to developing the game.
So much passion for the game, so much passion, and it's quite laudable. And you've got to give him credit. I mean, this is someone who just doesn't want the game of basketball to die in this country. He's passionate about getting the youngsters, and it's always great. I believe in grassroots a lot. I believe that if you had to sustain anything developmental in terms of in sports, it has to be from the grassroots. It has to be from the young generation, because you can build from there. It's easy to build from there. It's easy to catch them young and give them the opportunity. So fantastic stuff he's doing, and I hope he doesn't take his foot off the pedal, because it's wonderful. Like you said, he's been retired for a while now, but still in the game, still in the game. So much passion. I quite love that.
Yeah, lovely, fantastic. Indeed, coming from Olumide Oyedeji. Let's move away from basketball now. Let's talk about the FA Super Cup. Chelsea are champions of champions after defeating Villarreal 6-5 on penalties. Bada Akitude Johnson is going to join us now to do a review of that game, as well as the Messi mania that is currently going on in Paris. Bada, good morning. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Morning, Tyre. Always a pleasure to be here.
It's always great to have you, but you're one of those. You're one of the best pundits in the country, so it's always great to have you on the show. Let's just dive straight into that game. Let's see confirmation of the results. First of all, they will come to you for your thoughts. The match ended 1 apiece after extra time, and Chelsea eventually prevailed 6-5 on penalties. Raul Albiol ended up being the villain for Villarreal, while Kepa Arrizabalaga ended up being the hero for Chelsea. But the coach, Thomas Tuchel, has come out to say the call to bring on Kepa was planned months ago. How surprised are you by that?
No, I'm not. He's a hands-on tactician who does what is required for time, and that's how managers should earn their pay. He's got a goalkeeper from open play who's a better shot stopper than Kepa, Mendy, that is. So he plays during regulation time, and when it's clear that the game is going to move into penalties, you bring in the guy who gives you a much higher chance. It's not like Mendy couldn't have saved it. Who knows what could have happened? But based on practice, based on what you see on the training ground, a manager knows who's best suited or who gives the higher or the better output in any particular regard. And so when he made that call, I wasn't surprised at all. If there was any surprise, it was how that conflicted very sharply with what Mauricio Sarri was trying to do in that League Cup final game against City, where he was trying actually to sub off Kepa and bring on Caballero because he thought that Caballero was a better penalty stopper. But Kepa showed great goalkeeping during the penalties. He saved 2, and he pretty much gave them the game, or gave them the cup. But away from the penalties to how things panned out, about 120 minutes, I thought Villarreal started maybe the more cohesive of the two in the first 10 minutes, but then Chelsea quickly stamped their authority. Kante was snapping at everything in central midfield. Kovacic was making things tick. Chelsea, Mason Mount, all of that talent in midfield, they dominated the play. Villarreal sat deep, defended and sought to hit on the break, but didn't get that many opportunity to do that because of how quickly Kante was snuffing out all of the fires, putting out all the fires across the park. Chelsea themselves, it must be said, didn't create so much until the goal when Kai Havertz, I think, crossed the ball from the left side.
Yes.
And it eluded every Villarreal defender. And Hakim Ziyech, who's been among the goals in pre-season, it must be said, was on hand to tuck it in for 1-0. From that point, I thought Chelsea just pretty much continued to buzz the game till halftime. Can't remember Villarreal calling Mendy into any difficult save. I think it was in the second half when Alberto Moreno, who used to play for Liverpool, struck the post with a fierce shot from within the box. But Chelsea never really looked like conceding up until when Gerard Moreno, the striker, who again scored their only goal against United in that Europa Cup final, was on hand again with a fine finish in the, I think, 73rd minute to draw Villarreal level. if there's anything to be said about this Villarreal team, it is how they are being managed by a man who came to English football and couldn't get Arsenal to defend for their lives or to save their life. Arsenal were all over the place under him. In fact, I remember a particular game, Arsenal-Watford. Arsenal led 2-0 at halftime. And in the second half of that game, Arsenal conceded 33 shots on their goal. 33. I mean, he didn't cover himself in glory in English football, but since he went back to Villarreal, they shut out, and if I can say that, United in the cup final, United couldn't manage more than one goal, so they showed great defensive abilities. Last night again, they showed great defensive capabilities in technically 2 halves, because you have 15 minutes per half in extra time.
Yeah.
So in about 45 plus 30 minutes, they shut out Chelsea from scoring. So that Villarreal team continues to show defiance in the face of superior attacking teams, limiting them to very few chances and, taking their own chance. And it ended 1-1 just as it did against United in that Europa League final. And then it went to penalties. Remember, in the Europa Cup final, they scored all of their kicks. It went into a marathon of some sort. But yesterday, I think they lost the very first one and they lost the last one. But like I said before, credit must go to Kepa. He was very confident. He was very active. Some mind games going on there. He was prancing and jumping all over the place, trying to get into the heads of the Villarreal players. And I thought, just Villarreal looking at how he was subbed in with the sole responsibility of coming to stop the kicks, psychologically, the players must have felt, okay, there must be something Thomas Tuchel knows that we probably don't. Or this guy has to be a trusted penalty stopper to have been brought on. And in a bit of way, maybe that, played a part in them, missing their kicks, even though it must be said, Kai Havertz was the first to lose from the spot.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the rest of the Chelsea players scored their kicks. Raul Albiol, unfortunately, it had a tremendous game in center defense alongside Pau Torres, who, it must be said, had played at the Euros, played at the Olympic Games where Spain went all the way to the finals against Brazil, and chose to play that game just a few days later before embarking on his 2-week break. Just the hunger, the passion to participate in what is without a doubt one of the showpiece games of European football, the curtain raiser, if you can call it that. So I thought Villarreal did very well. So Chelsea were always going to be the superior team and the favourites, even though they wronged the changes they brought in defense. For instance, Chalobah, who we know wouldn't be a starter, when the league season starts or when the season starts proper. But in spite of the changes, Chelsea still had, an overabundance of superior quality on the pitch to go on and win the game. But Villarreal didn't just roll over. They played, very, very well and deserved, to have tied the game and pushed all the way to the penalties. Where, of course, as we know, it's down to luck. It's down to maybe the sort of inspired move that Thomas Tuchel made in bringing on Kepa, trusted hands, someone who's confident, who backs himself to go and stop the kicks. And ultimately, he proved the difference. And Chelsea have one more silverware to add to what is already looking like an overpacked trophy cabinet.
You can say that again, too. In less than a year for Thomas Tuchel as Chelsea manager. Let me come to Monday in the studio. A lot of credit, definitely, like you said, goes to Villarreal for always turning up under Unai Emery, and they give Chelsea, they gave as good as they got. And, I mean, it could have been anyone's game at the end of the penalty shootouts.
Yeah, could have been anyone's game, but it was a good game of football to start with. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Both teams showing real quality. At the end, Chelsea's the far superior quality, but credit must go to Pau Torres and Raul Albiol, like Bada said, great defensive pair. I thought they held their own. Timo Werner flat out to deceive again. Good runs, but not doing what he's paid to do, put the ball in the back of the net.
That's why Lukaku is coming.
That's why Lukaku obviously is coming in. N'Golo Kante, clearly his usual safe self, moving around the field like a Trojan. I mean, so much energy, so much pace, covering every blade of grass. Fantastic game of football. But I've got to say, on the counter, I thought Villarreal looked very dangerous, particularly in the second half. They created chances. Moreno hit the two Morenos. Hit the crossbar and hit the post, and finally got their equalizer. Well-worked goal, I have to say. And like Bada said, I mean, it's quite a big contrast when you look at the Unai Emery from England, from Arsenal, and the Unai Emery at Villarreal, because they look very solid. They look very compact. And I know a few situations, the insistence on playing out of the back nearly cost them, because they gave the ball away quite a number of times in very dangerous positions. And that's something I will never understand, why defenders do that. I mean, clearly, when you play against a team who know that you're going to pass out from the back, they set traps for you. Chelsea was setting traps for them. And every time they were trying to pass out of the back, even when they were very tight spaces, I'm just thinking, get the ball out, because if they're closing in on you and you're losing balls in your final third, it's quite dangerous. But they do it, and they did it quite well, even though they got out of jail a few times. But credit to Villarreal in the end. I thought that in the final 20 minutes of that game, they had more momentum in terms of trying to score goals. They got the equalizer, and they were still going for the winner. But as a neutral, it was just a good game of football. It was just a good game of football to enjoy. For the European football season starting, like a curtain raiser, like Bada said, the curtain raiser. It's great to see that we're just waiting for the Champions League and the European football season to start.
You're spot on now. We can't wait. And that was a perfect curtain raiser, if you put it that way, for the European League season, which is going to start, or which has started in some countries already. France is on already. England is going to start on Friday, and others are going to follow suit. So exciting times indeed for football fans across the world. Let's go to Paris now and talk about the Messi mania that is rocking the whole city. Bada, finally we got the official presentation of Lionel Messi, and it's safe to say this guy is the new king in Paris.
Man who won 34 trophies while he was at Barcelona, won 6 Ballon d'Or. I mean, let's not even go into the number of individual titles he won. He established himself as the most preeminent, the most dominant force in football. And I mean, people who are not so much, of Messi fans, or who are not Messi fanboys as they call themselves, would say that, well, Barcelona probably got into trouble in the first place by overpaying him £1 million every week. So he had no reason to cry, blah, blah, blah. People will pick sides and choose what to believe. But I feel like the player that PSG has landed is probably the final piece in the jigsaw that they're trying to put together to become, European kings. They've arrived at the finals 2 seasons ago. Got knocked out in the semi-finals last year by City. If there's a player if there's a man who can push them one step further, it is Messi. And the fans recognize this. They recognize the tremendous value that it brings from a playing standpoint. Here's a man who finished last season, even at 34, top of the goal scorers chart again in Spain, was the top, assist leader. Went to Copa America, was best player, was highest goal scorer. He ticks all the boxes. He creates, he scores, he gives the team real confidence. For as long as he's on the pitch, the team always has a chance. And that, that X factor that has been missing sometimes for PSG, where they've come on stock, where Mbappe hasn't really delivered the goods, where Neymar has, played a bit more for himself than the team. You always need that character, that presence, who focuses everyone else just by his own output. He's a leader by the things that he does on the pitch. He doesn't go around shouting at people. Even when he was captain of Barcelona, I was captain of Argentina. He just keeps inspiring the team with what he brought, what he brings to the table. And if you ask me, it's probably the singular or has the potential to be the singular most impactful signing of the next 2 to 3 years, which is the duration of the contract that he signed. So the fans are expectedly and understandably excited, over the moon, completely over the moon. Yeah. Any club that could have landed Messi would have triggered exactly the same reaction from their fans all over the world. The shirts are selling out. Just looking at the numbers, in terms of the value that he brings straight away, PSG's Instagram following rose immediately from 37 million to 43 million in less than 24 hours. Ridiculous. And despite the 35 million euro a year contract, PSG will recoup that money because analysts are already estimating that there will be a 20% increase in sponsorship value, and merch sales, as we said, are going through the roof. And in terms of their commercial viability, they've just moved it notches higher because now there is a lot more interest in French football, not just on PSG. Obviously, everyone wants to see Messi play, but generally, there's an upside for French football just by the the signing of this mega superstar who's won everything except, of course, the FIFA World Cup, but still has the hunger of someone who's really not done much. Still talks about wanting to win the Champions League again. Talks about wanting to win the Ballon d'Or again. Talks about how he feels that joining PSG and teaming up with Di Maria's and Mbappe's, Neymar's of this world, will give him that opportunity to do it again. And you ask yourself, he's won the Champions League 4 times. He's won La Liga 10 times. Won, almost everything. What more could he want? Clearly, Messi is still as passionate as ever. And I believe that, he's just by showing up, upgraded this PSG team. They've got to be, odds-on favorites to go on and win the Champions League. Maybe not this season, maybe the next one, but Messi's impact definitely will be positive all round. He's a great signing without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I like the fact and how you've labeled Messi the X factor for Barcelona, for PSG rather, in the pursuit of the holy grail. Of course, Messi is 34. It might not be in his prime, but it's definitely not out of his prime, considering his performances for Barcelona last season. 38 goals and 14 assists in all competition. That is massive. But I want to thank you for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me, Tyra.
There you go. So it's all about the Lionel Messi show. Of course, Paris is in serious frenzy right now because of the coming of arguably the greatest player of all time. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we get to listen to the PSG president talk about how they pulled off that deal. Of course, I'll be getting the thoughts of Iniobong Monday in the studios as well. Join us again.
Other than the 6-time Ballon d'Or winner, the little Argentine La Pulga, Lionel Messi, and today is the day of his unveiling here at the Parc des Princes.
À la phase de questions-réponses.
Un equipo que prácticamente está hecho, más allá de los fichajes importantes. Buscábamos los mismos objetivos antes de estar separados.
On est pour l'équipe, mais c'est sûr, c'est notre objectif. Mais on calme, on reste, on est là, on monter pour travailler, comme je disais tout à l'heure. Travailler pour commencer aujourd'hui pour tout le monde, pour nous, pour l'autre club, pour la Ligue, pour la ville, à Paris. Parce que je pense.
Je vous prie de nous excuser je vous prie de nous excuser, on n'a pas pu prendre toutes les questions.
You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Let's take a listen now to the PSG president talking about the chairman, talking about how they pulled off that deal to sign Lionel Messi and the expected impact, especially off the field.
We follow the financial fair play regulation from the day one that we started until the end. We're gonna always fulfill the regulation of the financial fair play. Before we do anything, basically, you know, we look out with our commercial people, with financial people, with legal people. So as soon as, if you see that we're signing Leo, that means we have the capacity to sign him. If not, we're not gonna sign him. We're not gonna promise something we couldn't, so we know that we could sign him. But I think there's a lot of positive he's bringing to the club, and you can see in everything in the term of commercial, term of social media. It's amazing, honestly. He's, I mean, you know, a big asset for the club. The club being increased in every single part of the club in terms of commercial. I mean, unbelievable. 3 days. I mean, you know, later we'll maybe give you some numbers. You're gonna be shocked, honestly, in the numbers that we have. I hope Leo will not ask for more salary, but.
I bet Lionel Messi will be talking to his lawyers and, you know, exploring the possibilities of getting extra zeros on his salary. But it's remarkable what is going on in Paris at the moment. Bad has spoken extensively about his impact on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, from a commercial standpoint, it's madness.
It is utterly crazy. I mean, Bada talked about it. 37 million pounds, 37 million followers on Instagram this morning as we speak, 44.8 million. I mean, that is the Messi effect. And you're talking their merchandise, the PSG merchandise. You're talking jerseys, you're talking mufflers, you're talking warmers. I mean, it is going to go crazy. And they know they can make this money back. And the president talks about the fact that hopefully Messi doesn't ask for more money.
For a race.
I don't think he would do that as a professional.
Of course not.
PSG clearly are really going to cash out. They're really going to milk this one.
I mean, look at these pictures.
Everybody wants to have a Messi jersey. And I feel that the weight of expectation on Messi, not just on Messi, on the team generally, it has to be now or never in terms of winning that Champions League trophy. It has to be now or never because it's not just Messi. There's Donnarumma in that side. There's Hakimi. There's Sergio Ramos. And the desire of these players, I mean, Hakimi hasn't won the Champions League, but Ramos has won the Champions League, Ronaldo has won the Champions League, Neymar has won the Champions League. And these are players who would want to do it with PSG. They want to do it with another club. Because
that's why they signed them.
It's always great when you've done something with one club and you get an opportunity to do it with another club. It's always fantastic. And I just feel that these players have got the desire, not just Messi. I think that there are lots of winners in that dressing room. And it has to be this season. It has to be this season or next. And I was just saying jokingly, if Pochettino doesn't win the Champions League, I don't think they will just fire him. I think he'll be arrested as well because it is criminal if you do not win the Champions League this season with the embarrassment and riches of talent that they've got this season. And I clearly feel that there's a hunger with Messi. There's a real hunger to win the Champions League with PSG. And he said that this club is very ambitious, and clearly everyone knows it's open secret that PSG want to get their hands on that trophy.
Yeah, you're spot on. As a matter of fact, that was the first thing Messi said during his official presentation. He's joined to win the Champions League for 5th time, and of course that's definitely the target for PSG. You saw pictures earlier of how the shirts number 30 are flying off the shelves, and that's why the PSG presidents and all of the management are very excited about what is to come in terms of the revenues coming from this Lionel Messi signing. There's so many winners from this deal, of course. PSG, Amazon are the TV rights holders for the French league. When they signed the deal, there was no Messi. Now they've got Messi to show. So that's massive for them as well, too. So many winners, only one loser. Barcelona.
Yeah.
How did they find themselves in this deep shit?
badly run club, very horribly badly run club. Last summer when Messi wanted to leave, I thought they could have recouped at least 150 million pounds from him. I'm certain that City were going to pay that money and get him on board. But I said at the time that I thought it was bad business. I thought it was a bad business decision holding on to Messi because you have a player who you can sell. You've literally taken a lot from him, and then there's an opportunity to get some very good money. Yeah. And probably, I thought last summer they could have taken that money and gone and gotten Mbappe. I thought they could have put a bid of 150, 200 million pounds on Mbappe. Probably Mbappe would be playing for Barcelona now. It was a bad business decision. Yep. It's been a chain of bad business decisions.
It's a chain. I like that.
Over a long period of time, and they are ruining it. They look like they're starting from scratch because at this point they can't even afford to get a big name player and pay them a humongous weekly wage, and it's quite scary for Barcelona. I don't know where they go from here, quite honestly, but it's a lesson to a lot of these big clubs that one business decision, one bad chairman or president at the club can ruin the club, and Barcelona are in total ruins at the moment. I don't know where they go from here, but they've got the good thing is that they've got a lot of young, exciting talents there. Pedri and Sufati, Frankie de Jong, very exciting young players coming through, and I hope that they can start again. I really hope they can start again because they're a massive institution, and everyone who wants to see Barcelona at the top of things, not fighting for Champions League. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Barcelona will have to rebuild now with Juan Laporta in charge of the side. It's well documented how the reign of Jose Maria Bartomeu ended didn't end great at all, and that's why Barcelona are where they are today. But for PSG, Barcelona's loss is PSG's gain, and they'll be looking to win the UEFA Champions League perhaps this season. All right, let's take a look at the papers now before we sign out of the show. Let's start with Complete Sports. Yeah, let's start with Complete Sports. Very interesting stories. There's one concerning Nigeria's Super Eagles midfielder Frank Oyeka seeking to emulate Odenwige and Igalo in the Premier League. Of course, Frank Oyeka now plays for Brentford. That's the new, the promoted side from the Championship. Frank Oyeka, from the little you've seen, we've not seen a lot of him, but he's played a few minutes for the Super Eagles. You think he can cut it in the Premier League? I don't think I quite like the word copy or emulate. I think you want to stamp your authority also. First things first, if you get a starting berth for Brentford, we'll see that tomorrow. They play the first game tomorrow. Get your starting shirt with Brentford. I mean, you can stabilize your stay in the team. That's a good start. I don't think you want to emulate anymore. Osaze Odenwige was great in the Premier League, did really good things with West Brom, did really good things with Stoke and a few other clubs. Odion Gallo played for Manchester United and played for Watford, did really, really well. And you just want to come in and do your thing and just show that you're talented enough, you're good enough to play at this level because I mean, this is not the Danish league with due respect to the Danish league. This is the Premier League, unarguably the biggest football league in the world. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. I hope he does well. We hope he does well indeed. I will probably get opportunity to see Frank Oyeka in action for Brentford tomorrow against Arsenal. More stories. Chelsea, of course, are the undisputed kings of Europe after yesterday's victory over Villarreal. Madrid plot deadline day move for Mbappe. We'll see how that pans out. So. Very, very interesting. Really, really interesting. Can they get him? I'm just wondering in terms of the balancing the books, and can they get him? They've lost two of the big players in Sergio Ramos and Rafa Varane. I'm just wondering if they can get him. But if they get him, I mean, that looks like the Spanish La Liga title in his back. That'll be a massive coup. Indeed, if Real Madrid are able to sign Kylian Mbappe on the very last day of the transfer window. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you, Tyre. Appreciate your time. Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you guys for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tyre. Salam.